All right, so everyone keeps talking about run the Sakura team, run the Sakura team. But instead, I think I'm gonna just stick to my Horn of Salvation Ichigo because look at my goat. I beg your pardon. My goat Horn of Salvation Ichigo is back. So as you can see, this is real. His damage is DPS. All of this is realistic. So I made a video like a couple days ago or last week about using Horn of Salvation Ichigo instead of Sakura for the revive, and after I made that video I was playing around with him in sandbox, giving him like Rukia memory and all that, and I found a way that this guy can actually be like usable. You can run him in like dungeons, rifts and all that. As you can see, his damage is EDPS. I mean, even his range too. This guy's range is crazy, nothing to scoff at. Look at it right here. Alright, but anyway, the $1,000,000 question is how can we do this? Well, I'm actually going to show you guys step by step. If you guys for some reason like have like another Monarch Ichigo, what I did, I actually wasted used 800 B-rolls to get a Monarch again because I just love Bleach and I love Ichigo. This dude's the GOAT. This guy is like this guy is actually runnable. This is kind of insane, but I'm actually gonna restart the match and show you guys how this is possible. Alright, so in a real game, I guess, so this is the team I'd be using. So I'd be using Rukia. She gives a 50% damage boost. And I'm using Ymir because she gives a 40% damage boost, but another partner passive, if we sell her, she buffs everyone, giant category allies by 100% damage, and obviously Ichigo classifies as every category in the game, so he'd be getting 100% damage boost. But you could run Ymir or Brick, but Brick has a 60% damage buff, but that one lasts for 300 seconds, where this only lasts for 40 seconds. But I'm just using Ymir right here for shits and giggles, just so you can see like how much potential or how much like damage Ichigo can truly have. And obviously we're using Urza right here for that 50% damage buff. Alright, so the first thing I want to go over is his passive, which everyone already knows. Every time he loses a stock, he gains up to 20% damage, and if he's at max upgrade, this damage actually goes up to 70%. So, I used his ability twice, and as you can see, 2.4, so he has a 140% damage boost. And thanks to Ichigo's Vassal Lord passive, once you activate his Vassal Lord, since he regains the stock again, we could actually remove another 2 stocks, so Ichigo right here can actually get boosted even more. So let's actually show that right now. So first, what I do, similar to the other video, I have Irons right here, and I use him to caloric Ichigo. In the other video, it was vice versa. I caloric Horn of Salvation Ichigo, but it's fine right here. Also, spells wise, Irons' spells are so trash. I'm pretty sure he has no spells at all, so the only spell we'd be running him is he has Ray of Negative Energy, but that one's only like a small AoE move. But yeah, Irons is like, he's just kind of here for to caloric because we actually can't use both Ichigos on the same team because they have the same name. And obviously we have Gohan, who also gives a buff to 50% damage buff to Dragon Ball allies, and obviously, like I said earlier, Ichigo classifies as every single category in the game. So alright, so as you can see, thanks to Vassal Lord's passive, we have 2 more stocks, so that means we can boost Horn of Salvation Ichigo even more. So let's do that right here actually. So we're gonna do that twice, and then alright, his damage is so high right now because of the 200% damage boost, so we're gonna wait 40 seconds until his damage really is after it. Alright guys, so 40 seconds have passed and the 200% damage boost is gone, so we're gonna do lots of adding here, so I'm not gonna lie, I might get a little lost too. So first we got Ymir's 40% damage buff, and then we got 50% damage buff from Urza, and then another 50 from Gohan right here. So if my math is right, so from the 4 stocks that he was missing, if like no buff units were placed, his damage would be at 3.8 times 3.8 damage. And then once we include Urza's 50% damage buff, then it'd be like at 4.3 damage, right? And then the Trunks or Gohan, the 50% damage boost, that would make it to 4.8 damage, and then the Ymir 40% damage buff is gonna make it 5.2. So that's how we have 5.2 damage, and then I'm gonna spawn in an enemy right now, and then that should boost it to 5.7, and then once I activate Ymir's second passive, then his damage is gonna jump up to 6.7 damage. So I think I have the custom spawn all the way back here. Yeah, so Ichigo is the only one that's gonna hit it, so we get the Rukia buff instantly. So spawn one enemy, spawn like a Vegeta. So there you go, 50%, 5.7, and then we sell the Ymir. 6.7. There you go. So that's how he does so much damage. Not gonna lie, obviously this team isn't gonna replace the Sakura Sid Raised Read Run, but yeah, that's how you Giga buff the Horn of Salvation Ichigo. This guy came out. I totally forgot, but I'll probably show the release date. So this guy is like, he's probably closing in on like being a 1+ year old unit, but this guy is like, usable right now because, well, we got Memorias now, and then the Divinity trait just give old units like such a big damage boost. And not only that, his entire passive is just Giga buff by the Vastalord passive, since he like gives back stock. So yeah, let me know if you guys do plan on running this team. But again, you do need Monarch Ichigo. I think I already said that in the beginning of the video. I mean, it should be obvious, right? But yeah, that's all for this video. This is probably gonna be like one of my favorite teams to run. But I do have another video in mind where an old unit, well, kind of an old unit, but there's an old unit that you can also use in this team that can actually like perform pretty well. I think better than this Ichigo actually, but yeah, this is just a silly little video. I'm actually gonna use this every now and then, so if you see me in any rifts or dungeons, there's like a 90% chance I'm gonna be running this team. But anyway, that's all for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.